evening, late night freaks. I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And I'm also here to just chill out with you, man, and enjoy these vibes that are building as we're heading toward that Halloween time when we get to really dive into the deliciousness of the veil being at its thinnest and everything is so close to the bone, right? You can really feel the energy in the air at this time of year. It's my favorite season. And I absolutely love October, but I am biased. I'm an October baby. I was actually born on Friday the 13th in October. So I just absolutely love this time of year. And it's been a really interesting one. It's been a real interesting one, especially with what's been going on with the eclipses. I feel like it's even made it a little bit more easily accessible than usual, just to be in between those eclipses and also have that veil thinning. I feel like the ancestor energy is very front and center. They're talking, they're making requests, I'm really excited because I am going to be recording a special read and channeling session for a late night talk in tarot. It's been a long time since I've done that. The last time I did that was with good old Jim Morrison, who's still hanging out here with me. He still interjects from time to time, but he likes to hang out and he likes these kind of out there vibes. So I guess he can deal with a broad like me. I'm going to let it be a surprise who I'm going to be doing this time, but I'll probably be recording that on Halloween and look for it to come out. Sometime after that. I'm not sure if I will put it up on Halloween night or if I will bring it forward someday within the next 3 days to follow that, because it's all a time for honoring those who have passed, those who have came before us and forged the path ahead for us, and paying them their respects, holding that space. So, I definitely like to extend the celebrations and really take part in all of it. And I'm looking forward to this because it's also going to be Witches' New Year. All right. This is the time when those of us who walk the weird way, we do the turning of the wheel and we start a brand new cycle. So, I feel like this is really potent to have this new year, the turning of the wheel creeping up on us here, and to be in between the eclipses, to be ready to step into that Sagittarius new moon, stellium in Sagittarius, coming up at the end of November to kick off Sag season. It's going to be so much bless up energy on offer. It's also going to be really illuminating. I mean, talk about a spotlight. I feel like it's curtain raising time. And I've been getting that imagery around this time period for a while now. It's been coming in. The curtain's going to go up. It's going to be a really interesting holiday season. That's all I have to say. And there's a lot of magic on offer. I think it's really cool. But I'm ready to dive in with you all and get to these readings. And we're going to be kicking it off with Pisces in this one. We have done Scorpio through Aquarius, all right? And we're going to continue forward from Pisces on until we get each of the signs done. Scorpio got to kick off this cycle because it is Scorpio's solar return. So happy birthday to all of you Scorpios. I hope you're really living it up and having yourself a time. Um, Also, I do want to make it clear that it is a collective read, okay? So not every message will necessarily speak to you. So take what resonates, toss aside the rest, engage your intuition when you tune in for these readings so you can really take in the messages that are meant for you and how to apply them to your situation. It can be a little different for every person, but if you tap into the general themes, it'll be very clear how the message is speaking to you. I do call out signs, and in these readings, we're looking at any strong placements in the sign, that sun, moon, rising, Venus, north node. We're going to throw Mercury and Mars in the mix just because of what's going on with the astrology. But we also are going to throw in any pact houses, which is a stellium of 3 or more planets in that particular sign's house. Even if they're not in that particular sign, it still has a very strong influence. Cross watcher energy can come into the reads. So, roles can be reversed, flip it as you need to, and gain insight when you get some activating message coming in from a cross watcher perspective. All right. Because it can really give you an advantage in knowing how you might need to shift the way you're moving through that situation to get a better result, So that's what this is all about in the first place. It's all about understanding the energies that are currently in play. And if you don't like what you hear, use it as an opportunity for reflection and think, okay, how can I shift my stance so I don't get that result? All right. It's my goal to help empower with the messages so you can use them to your best advantage. And yeah, let's just dive in and let's have a good time with this too. Okay. We're going to be irreverent as well. It doesn't all have to be so serious. Sometimes it is, but I walk the line. I walk the line, and I think there's much to be said for not taking things too heavy, too seriously. Humor will help you get through a lot of stuff. Humor can help you banish a lot of heavy energy, man. And I love going deep, but I also love to play. And I think play is sacred, Humor is sacred. It's sacred. Man, I'll tell you what, I've gotten some of my deepest, most spiritual insights at the 7-Eleven. I have this weird thing with 7-Elevens. They're like a portal for me. I kid you not. I've had so many major lessons on my path handed to me at 7-Elevens. And it doesn't matter where the 7-Eleven is. It's something about 7-Eleven. And maybe that number is coming up for you, Pisces, 7-11. Maybe you're getting ready to roll the dice, Pisces. Maybe you're getting ready to do something that is a bit of a risk for you, but you feel kind of like pressing your luck. 7-Eleven, I don't know, it could turn out well, or it could turn out with you heading, to get a consolation, big bite. Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's see what the cards have to say, Hey, it all depends. I mean, we want to be mindful that Mars is going retrograde on the 30th, so it's not exactly the best time to be too risky. But if this is something that you've really leaned into and you're very certain of it, like, yeah, I need to take this risk. I need to do this thing, man. I say go for it. Life is too short. You gotta have a devil-may-care attitude sometimes, especially if it's your soul that's really compelling you to go forward. And we got that card flying out of the deck right there. Yeah, that's 2 angel cards. Let's see, we got King of Wands. Okay, so we know this might be in relation to a fire sign energies. That'd be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. King of Wands, Daniel, God, the merciful judge. Eloquence, gives answers to those in doubt. Okay. So it appears that the writing was so small. I'm not working with the brightest lights here, but I like to hang out in more subdued lighting, man. Seems like you're having some questions about a King of Wands. Maybe you're weighing taking some kind of risk with a King of Wands, fire sign energy. Maybe you're thinking of reaching out and expressing some feelings with this eloquence element here. I think that you're wanting to know if this person is kind of feeling the same as you, if they have the same idea as you, if they want to move forward in the same way you're feeling. You want to move forward with this person, but there's this element that you're not quite sure of. You're not quite sure if you're totally on the same page. Some of you want to know, is this person like, are they attracted? Are they wanting to take it beyond just like an acquaintance or a friendship? And you're kind of testing the waters. You might reach out You might reach out and send them a message. Likewise, one could be coming your way. You could have this King of Wands energy reaching out to you. We see coming in with this is the Eight of Wands. Yeah, okay, so the Heel, the great and exalted God. Grandant, makes one passionate toward God. So we see there is going to be messages coming in, okay, with that Eight of Wands. That's definitely about communication. We also see that there's this influence here, though, of making you passionate toward God. So it's almost like, I feel like this is going to be a little bit testing for you. Maybe there's something about this situation where if you're enticed by what's being offered, it kind of puts you in a position where you have to go against what you know is right for you spiritually on your path. Let's see what the bottom of the deck energy is on this one. We got the Queen of Pentacles, okay? That's Earth sign energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Hagenti. Makes one wise and teaches everything, can turn any metal into gold, transmutes water into wine. So what we got is a bit of alchemizing going on here, you know? There might be this temptation, but with this Queen of Pentacles, there's this piece of, first of all, you may have an earth sign strongly aspected in your chart, okay? Because Queen of Pentacles is associated with earth sign energies. That's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Or an earth sign energy is in the mix, is in play here, okay? There's something that needs to be alchemized in this situation. There's something that needs to be looked at and sorted through in a way that brings things into better alignment, I'm feeling. It could be that this King of Wands approaches you and they're already involved with somebody with this Queen of Pentacles. And that this could create kind of a complication. You know, we do see there's a certain temptation kind of element in the mix here. There's something that needs to be dealt with in an above the board way. I feel like there's a need for more honesty in this situation. Something needs to be handled properly in order for you to feel good about it. I feel like there's something about it that needs to be in alignment with like your core spiritual values. After that, we have the Ten of Wands, Marbas, causes and cures diseases, tells secrets and things hidden, can make one shapeshift. Yeah, and look, this is the demon you're dealing with. Better the devil you know. I mean, is it a case of that? So there's this piece here about the burden that comes with, yeah, there may be like a lot of passion here. There can be a lot of passion in this connection, but you also know the ways that it can go to a very unhealthy place. And there's this need to understand that what is hidden will be revealed. This is kind of clear that's coming out here, you know, and also the way that can affect a connection. If there's some element that you have to keep clandestine or secret, then that's kind of always weighing on your consciousness. So does it really allow you to fully let go into that experience? Or is it a burden? It looks like it's a burden with the Ten of Wands. That being said, there's a connection here that's so passionate that there could very well be a temptation to shapeshift, you know, to flip flop and say, well, maybe just this once. Could be strong Leo energy factoring in. I'm just noticing the lion on this card. Okay. There's also this piece here that they're like, it's like checkmate, checkmate, you know. The potential is too that this King of Wands that's approaching is feeling very overburdened, overwhelmed. Maybe they feel guilty because they are holding feelings for you that they are not being open about, and they're going to like do a total 180 on you, and they're going to like take off their mask and they're going to show you what they're really feeling for you. This message coming in strongly. Either way, I feel like there's some element of this. It could be somebody you've been involved with in the past, or you could know that this person is already in a relationship. There's some element about it that requires there is forthrightness and to deal with things in a very honest, clear, and direct way, because there is this mutable quality to this connection where goalposts can move. The situation can change. It can have almost like a chameleon-like quality to it. So it's important to be very mindful of this. And we do have the Nine of Swords coming after that with Larry. And this says, causes great battles and wars, causes wounds to putrefy. And we got Archer energy here. So with that King of Wands, this could also be Sagittarius, all right? So again, like I was saying, there's something that needs to be directed in this connection in a way that's very clear and it's very above board, because it feels like there's too much that's sort of hidden. There's this kind of like cloaking energy here that I'm really picking up. And there will be conflict in relation to this. And there are going to be, like wounds aggravated. It's sort of like, there can be a situation where somebody got hurt and then they started to kind of heal, and, that scab starts to form over the wound. And then, oh, but I can't help it. I just got to pick it. I just got to pick it some more. And it's like by picking it, you actually reopen the wound, and then you have to go through this healing process all over again. So this energy kind of coming front and center. Top of the deck energy is all shadow, man. We got Justice, Astaroth. Tell how the angels fell, reveals the past, present, and future, teaches the liberal science. It's that question about, again, what is the balance? What is the balance? Pride comes before a fall. That's another piece to sort of look at. What is driving you forward in this connection? It looks like there's something here on, pick what side you're on, but somebody here needs to be more above board. They know that the way they're moving in this connection is not appropriate. There's secretive elements. There's elements that can cause a lot of conflict and a lot of wounding. And so there's some need for things to be above board. Again, there's like this almost strategic feel too with that checkmate energy coming in with that 10 of Wands. I think there's somebody here who's quite aware that they're playing some level of a game, that there's some kind of manipulation involved, and that's a great burden on the consciousness because they know it's not quite right. With Astaroth coming out here associated with card of Justice, that does, pretty much state clearly what was already stated before, that what's hidden does rise to the surface, and there will be a balancing of the scales. So it's really a matter of being very mindful of, how you want to move forward. I definitely advise, with Justice showing up, that you make sure that the choices you're making are in alignment with your integrity, and that you can feel good about the choices you're making. If somebody is involved with somebody else and that person is not aware, oh, I'm getting sentient. That person is not aware that their partner is like out, trying to get something going with somebody else, like that's just a recipe for disaster on any level. And it's cool if people want to go and, be in an open situation, or if they want to explore, or, they're ready to maybe head in a new direction. But then that really comes down to a matter of communication. And I feel like something's being hidden here. I almost get the feel it's like there's been messages, there's been this contact, and there's been sort of this, I get a real digital vibe in a lot of cases. Like it's all stuff happening through DMs, maybe there's been some FaceTime, maybe there's been some phone calls, maybe there's been talks of kind of connecting. maybe that initially seemed more kind of like fantasy, like it's not necessarily something that's ever going to actually happen, but it's just kind of fun to engage in this sort of conversation because it lights something up inside. But now it's kind of getting to the point where it's like, no, actually, there's something real going on here. And now it's also kind of getting a little bit complicated and it's not so fun anymore. You see, right behind that, we have the Four of Cups, shacks. And this is steals or fetches anything requested, including money and horses, reveals secret things, brings questionable familiars. Yeah, it's like there's some piece about this. There's that there, even though it's not here, it comes up as the Four of Cups with that steals or fetches anything requested. It has very much that kind of Seven of Swords vibe. Like it's almost like it's delicious just to think you could get away with it, or the thing that's so appealing about it is the fact that it is secret and it kind of, there's like a little bit of a charge in that. And there's something about this that actually is an unhealthy dynamic because Four of Cups, to me, it's always there's kind of this like push pull dynamic in play, or maybe there's been a push pull dynamic in this connection in the past. And there's some kind of unhealthy like attachment there. We also see that, somebody could be interested in what somebody's got. Maybe somebody's in a really good position financially. Maybe they're hoping to benefit from that. There's all kinds of people in the world. Sometimes people do use people for what they can get out of them. I just got, there's some out there that are, just kind of spending their time with someone because of the status. There's something about this though. There's a need to like kind of question your circle, and there's a need to question some of the people you've decided to kind of bring closer in and connect with, and look at how some of these people are moving, because this is something that should be questioned. It should be questioned because it's almost like when we see something going on, in our social circle and we know that it's not quite right, and we know it's out of alignment with what we know to be true for us, and yet we're tempted to kind of just let it slide or look the other way. We really begin to be in agreement with that kind of energy, and that puts us in a questionable position. I don't know why that's coming in, but maybe there's something going on with a group of people. I got a group of people and you have a connection with somebody within this group, and you know that there's some stuff going on behind the scenes, and you've kind of been put in an awkward position where it's almost like if you open your mouth and you say you know what's going on, then you're incriminating yourself. That's what I get. I don't know where this is coming from. Right after that, we have Five of Swords. Oh my God, Sabna. Yeah, because it's like a betrayal. There's like betrayal energy here. There's some conflict brewing here, and I feel like it's brewing beneath the surface. And it has something to do with the King of Wands, who brings forward an element that's going to stir the pot. It sure looks like that. It sure looks like a lot of communication going on. And it looks like you're trying to decide the best way to move forward, and also considering, how that will affect you beyond this situation. But with Sabnak here, it says, builds high towers, castles, and cities, afflicts men for many days with wounds full of rot and maggots. You know what this makes me think of? It makes me, I forget what number it is in the I Ching, but in the I Ching, there is a hexagram, and it's called coup, and it's work on what has been spoiled. And it's when the energy has become so out of alignment that it can actually start to create physical health issues within. And in fact, you may have noticed that as you've spent time around these people, maybe you haven't been feeling the best health wise. Maybe in particular, you've been feeling like a little off in your digestion. I think that's you transmuting that energy. Honestly, I feel like you are picking up the energy of these people that are around you. I think that you've been in a process where you've been kind of clearing out certain people from your life. You've recognized that um, their energy disrupts your peace. You know, this is what I'm getting, or the way these people handle their situations creates too much complication, too much drama in your life, and you've really been extricating yourself from this energy. But there's something here. There's something here. Um, I'm really like getting the hit. It would be so beneficial for you to just like make up a big batch of ginger tea. Ginger is so wonderful for the digestion and to get the inner fire, the Agni going, but it's also great for helping to just like clear out parasites and, you know, all kinds of viruses and things of this nature. And that doesn't just apply on a physical level, it also applies energetically. I think that'll get things moving. I think you also may get some ama coming up. Okay, I'm speaking Ayurvedic terms here right now. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, so when ama presents, it presents like mucus. It's like mucus in the gut, and it snuffs out the internal fire. It can cause digestive issues. But ama is basically related to that which is undigested. And that's not just food, it's also undigested emotions, undigested experiences, undigested thought forms, you know, anything that has been left just kind of sitting to fester, right? Sitting to fester. You know, there's something involved in this situation that actually it like dings on a core wound for you. It dings on a core wound. And once you get in touch with this and you get some of that ama to move, you're going to understand what that is, because you're going to get all this like mucus starting to come up and out, and it will get your inner fire going. It will also help get this like draining energy off of you, this energy that's been kind of taken in just from being in the presence of these people. I think that you feel that there's something going on beneath the surface in this situation that even you've been kind of left out of the loop on as well. There's something that needs to be looked at here. But yeah, you can just take some fresh ginger root, slice up a bunch of it, throw it in a pot of water, boil that up for like 10 minutes, and you can sip on that throughout the day. And it's so wonderful for just clearing out all the gunk. It will get things moving. Beyond that, it's also on a metaphysical level. It's excellent for getting negative energy to move out fast and efficiently. So I'm feeling this is something that would really, really help in this situation. I want to get one more from here. This is definitely related to some kind of love relationship, because we do have Two of Cups here, Salos. This says, causes the love of women to men and of men to women. You know, there is some romantic connection here, but there's something about it that's in the shadow. I think the shadow is that something's being kept secret. I think it's being kept secret because this situation has maybe elements to it that are inappropriate, or any inappropriate, because there's somebody involved. It's a third party dynamic. Somebody's involved with somebody in this connection. So just even the advance is inappropriate. And it's not even necessarily, it doesn't have to be that you're the person who's making the advance. It could be the person that's making an advance towards you is in a relationship. But it's like, I feel like either you will discover this, you know, you'll discover this. Maybe this person kind of tells you that they're free and they're available, and then you find out they're actually not. I feel like something will come to light about this, but I also feel like there's this real temptation in this situation to like, kind of like, can I get away with it? You know? Um, I do pick up like this energy around you that you're wanting, you're wanting sensuality, you're wanting sensuality. It may be very tempting. Maybe you're in a relationship and you're being tempted, to take something further with, somebody who's come around because things have grown a little stale between you and your person. Let's get a cut of the deck energy on this. I want to pull out some different cards and see what we get. It comes up on the shadow. Okay, we got High Priestess, okay? Dantalion. Teaches art and science, knows the secret thoughts of all and can change them, causes love, shows vision of the world. Yeah, I mean, I think that you feel a connection with this person, with this high priestess. And the high priestess energy can also be very much about keeping things secretive. We do see here, that there is sort of that same duality message, about we got the feminine, the masculine, we have, the moon to the sun. And it's this balancing of these two energies within yourself too, and deciding how to move forward. I also think that that this person wants to take it to the next level with you, and there's part of you that is trying to decide if you're going to let this energy in, you're going to let this person in. There does seem to be like some kind of decision needs to be made in this matter though, as you move through the month of October. Somewhere along the lines here, you're dealing with a situation like this. And with the Two of Cups on the scene, it's a soulmate situation. We do see like a shadow came out in relation to this matter though. So it could be that this is the kind of soulmate comes around to teach an important lesson. And maybe it's about teaching you a lesson in regard to something that has been like a tripping point for you in the past, but you got to a point of overcoming it. And so it's sort of like, that fun thing life does when it throws another like curveball your way to see if you really did learn the lesson. At the end of the day, honesty is the way to go. Clandestine things never tend to turn out very well. They always end up causing problems. They always end up causing unnecessary pain to the people involved in the situation. And it's just not a cool way to move, man. I mean, we're all adults, right? If you feel, the connection with somebody, okay, you feel the connection with them, then speak to it, be clear about it, but make sure that you don't kind of feel like you have to keep something secret because you're afraid that if you come out with it, that's going to destroy the connection. So instead, you're just going to let it gnaw away at you, and you're going to take on all this guilt and burden in association with what could be a beautiful connection if you could just be honest and open, if things could just be direct and clear. I mean, that's what's so important in a situation like that. But we see with this situation, it disrupts your stability. There's no anchoring here. All right. And it looks a little bit chaotic. And I have to tell you, with this card, the anchor, every time I see it, I can't help it. We see this guy, he's being held in these chopsticks. And I always hear Joe Pesci's voice from Casino, where he's like, I got your head in a fucking vice. And that reminds me of the story of Kuan Yin. Like, Kuan Yin is such a gangster, okay? Kuan Yin and the Monkey King. You should look up this story about Kuan Yin and the Monkey King if you are not aware of it. She she wanted to teach the Monkey King a lesson because he got a little too big for his britches. Okay. His ego was like way too front and center. And so, he ended up getting in big trouble. He got put in spiritual lockdown, the Monkey King, and it was up to Kuan Yin as Bodhisattva to make a judgment if she was going to practice any leniency toward the Monkey King. And she said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I will let you get out of spiritual jail, basically. But you have to wear this golden ring around your head. And anytime you even think a thought about going back to your old ways, that ring is going to tighten around your head. And so repeatedly, it was like this was so brutal. This Monkey King wasn't really free. It's like he got out of spiritual jail, but he couldn't help himself. He kept coming back to this place of having these egocentric thoughts. And so that vice around his fucking head, it would keep tightening and it would cause him great pain. So there's this piece here about thinking about the toll of a connection when you have to keep it secret, or where you have to move covertly, or where there's not the honesty, there's not the transparency involved, and it could be really messy. There's some piece here that's coming in very strongly. Yeah, look at this. Cut of the deck energy. The kiss up. The kiss up sea casino, man. I'm telling you, I got your head in a fucking vice. It makes me think of indecent proposal. And remember I said for somebody there might be this piece like, oh, they got lots of money, maybe somebody's wanting to have a bit of the good life, and maybe they're not even aware. Maybe that's an aspect of themselves that's operating in the shadow, that they're not even aware that that's what they find so tantalizing about this person. Maybe they're used to being in connections where they kind of always have to hold everything up financially. So the fact that this person is well off is something that's appealing. You might be thinking of taking an indecent proposal because it makes your life easier. There's something here though that is really about greed. Somebody's being a little piggy in this situation. Somebody's wanting their cake and to eat it too. Okay. But it's funny to me that saying, have your cake and eat it too. It's like, well, fuck, man, why have the cake if you're not going to eat it? But bottom of the deck energy, we see the lilies here, and there is a unicorn in the background. So maybe this person is approaching you and they're like, look, why can't we just have this? We get together and we have this magical experience when we get together, and it's amazing. We can do this. We can keep it cool between us and nobody needs to get hurt. Like, there's kind of that energy. I think this person, whoever they are, they're very tempting to you. And I feel like it's somebody you have a connection with and you've had a connection with for a while. You go back with this person. I think this person awakens something really magical in you. And so you always are going to have a connection to this person. You always will, but it's about understanding, is it worth it? Is it worth it to go there at the end of the day, considering, how it's going to weigh on your head after you go there? Is it something that you can deal with it? Is it something that you can live with? Only you can make that decision. Only you can make that decision. Top of the deck energy. Look, it's zombies, man. Again, zombies eat your brain. Definitely like Night of the Living Dead. It's somebody coming back from the past, like just in time for Halloween, Yeah, and you feel a connection with this person. You feel a real sense of spiritual connection with this person. It could be a Sagittarius with this card showing up here. All right. They might be somebody with a Sagittarius moon in particular. All right. I think there's something that's going to be illuminated on that full moon in Taurus. I think that might be when you get this message, when it comes in. There's something that surfaces for alchemy in this connection, though. Okay. We see that with the water and see the snake in between. It's like something about this connection takes you down into like your watery depths. It takes you to this place of creativity, but also very deep psychological exploration. I think there's something that comes through this connection that is very transformational for you. There's some kind of healing here, and it wakes up a part of you that has gone missing for a long time. And I feel it's that part that connects with the magic, really feeling connected to the magic. I think this lunar cycle is going to be very significant in regard to this connection. And only you can determine what you need to do. Okay. But we do see that there is a house involved here. And going down this road, it's like everything may seem like it's all fine and dandy from the outside of this house, but there's a lot of weird shit going on. And we see fireworks. And I think in this case, it's kind of a dualistic message because of the other pieces that came in. It's like, yeah, this could be a really great sexual encounter. It can really light you up. It can be a magical night. I almost got this vibe, like just one more time, like a one for the road kind of vibe is what's coming in for me. But I think it's going to throw a house into turmoil. Those fireworks can also be arguments, and we can see that things are going to get a little fucking weird. Things are going to get a little fucking weird if you go down this road, and not necessarily in the best way. Let's just do one final cut of the deck here on this. Any final messages for Pisces? We got the Queen here. Okay, we got Hawk Medicine on your side. This allows you to get perspective. And I think you're going to realize that this is the devil with the flame there. Okay, you're recognizing this. I think in some ways, since you last were connected with this person, since you last were involved with this person, yeah, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Yeah. Since you last were involved with this person, you've really leveled up. You're not the same person that you were back then. At one time, this devil would have been your wish. Everything that they're telling you, everything that, you've ever wanted to hear, it's all right there. And this may be, very shocking for you. It might be a tower when this comes in. You never anticipated this person revealing this to you. Maybe there was a time you really wanted to hear all of this, but we see that to go in this direction, there's a breakup involved. Okay. There's a breakup. And it's in relation to this king. Again, Leo energy showing up. There's that lion again. All right. We do know it's a fire sign involved. All right. Had a couple Leo markers, one Sagittarius marker come up. And this throws a couple into chaos. It creates instability. I'm really getting it disrupts the home because I'm seeing that hurricane energy there, that like tornado energy there. And it's really reminding me of the Wizard of Oz. Like it might be a fun adventure, but you may find like after the little dalliance that you're left going, there's no place like home. And then it's too late. There's something here in this situation. Somebody's being selfish, somebody's being greedy in this situation. Somebody's being a little piggy, and it's up to you to figure out who the piggy is in this scenario, Pisces, and deal with it accordingly. And I wish you luck. That's all I can say with that. I wish you luck because I think you're seriously, you're going to be tempted. You're going to be tempted. It's not showing beyond that, anything moving forward into the future beyond that. But I would say if you hope to make best use of that new moon in Sagittarius energy that's coming in with the big Jupiter bless up energy, which by the way, is one of your ruling planets, and Jupiter makes everything bigger. It's also going to be a very exposing new moon, very exposing because of that Sagittarius stellium. Think about how things start is usually how they finish. And If there was a spotlight, shined on this situation, would you feel good about that? I think that's going to be sort of like your balancing point in trying to decide how to move forward in this matter. And now I'm going to go to Aries. Let's see, Aries. Aries, come here, Aries. All right, Aries. All right, getting pretty wild, I knew this would be a spicy read working with these cards, but I want to get spicy. I do. I want to get spicy. I have to be honest. I don't like doing like necessarily the typical reads all the time. I like to bring something different to the table. I like to explore the kind of the tough questions, but not in a somber way, in a way that's playful and humorous and a bit tongue in cheek. And um, yeah, I don't know. I love this deck. I'm so happy with both of these decks, the Occult Tarot and the Angel Tarot. They are awesome. I really enjoy both of these decks. And so I love the idea of mixing them together because I've already done that with my playing cards that I use for my wild card reads when I'm out on the street. And there's just something about combining the energies of the shadow and light together instead of always trying to keep them separate in readings. I like to like really mix it up. I'm making these angels play with these demons and you guys got to work your shit out with each other. Are you dealing with a situation like this? Are you dealing with a situation like this, Aries? Let's see what's going on with Aries Collective in November. Aries Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Pack First House. What is coming in for Aries Collective? Now this month of November, what's going to be happening for Aries during this eclipse season? We got some shadow coming out, we got some light coming out, we got a little blend of each. Let's see what we got on the board, Aries. Let's look at the shadow first, okay? Because it looks like we got some light coming in here to help contend with this shadow. So let's see what this shadow is all about. We have 10 of Cups, fur. Creates love between man and woman, creates thunder and great storms, gives answers on divine secrets. So we see that there's some love connection here. There's some love connection here. It's mutual. Both people feel the same, but there's something about this connection that causes some kind of upheaval with it coming in the shadow here. There's some kind of upheaval created by this 10 of Cups. Something that's supposed to give great joy actually is a source of stress. Maybe because of that situation that I brought in as I changed the banner to you, Aries. Maybe there's angels and demons in the mix to contend with in this situation. Maybe this person is struggling with a lot of toxic issues, or they're struggling with something like an addiction, and that's really causing a problem in the connection. So it's spoiling what could be a really happy connection. I got like somebody parties really fucking hard. Somebody parties really fucking hard. It could be you, it could be the person you're with. In particular, this could be somebody is a drinker, man. They are a drinker. And you have a very heartfelt connection with this person. At one point this person was the 10 of Cups, but there's some element in the mix in this situation where there's some kind of conflict that's being created that's disrupting things. I feel like there's been fights, there's been some discord in this situation. We do have Uriel here to help out on the scene, help get things illuminated with the Tower. Disruption, warns of disasters, aids in transformation. Okay, so you know that there's something about this situation that has to change. I am getting the hit that somebody has some kind of addiction involved in this situation. This could be anything from being addicted to um, alcohol or another kind of substance to having food related issues or maybe sexual addiction. You know, there's some element that needs to be transformed in this situation that is causing disruption in the connection. It's acting as a third party element, a divisory element. We do see that, you know, if this goes unchecked, there's going to be disruption. It's going to be a problem. And the advice is to do the work to transform it. So if you're struggling with some kind of addiction, or if you know that the person you're with is having an issue, there seems like there's this piece about having an open, honest communication, taking steps to address the matter, maybe getting some support, some kind of help. Right after that, coming in light, we have Six of Swords and Noel. And this says, perception of unity protects against accidents, heals the sick. Okay, so it looks like you're going to be doing some work to heal a connection. Somebody is calling their shit out. You know, I feel like there's somebody here that's being accountable. They know there's some work to be done. They're choosing to work with themselves first. They're choosing to step out of the blame game and own their part, do what they need to do to turn this thing around. They want to protect this connection. They don't want to see it go to waste. And I think they also are aware that because of some of the choices that they've made in the past, that this connection could be in jeopardy. And I see there's an opportunity to really create healing in this situation, but there's definitely been betrayal with this Five of Swords. Ihyel, God, the highest being, desire to know, the acquisition of wisdom. Yeah, but you know, this is a case where the wound is how the light got in. I think somebody, pick what side you're on, but somebody in this relationship has really grown through the experience. They took this experience, they took the challenges in the relationship, and they have applied them in such a way that they have gained a new perspective on the situation that is causing this person to want to do the work so they can show up and reclaim that 10 of Cups. That's what I'm getting here. Right after that, we have the moon, Gabriel. God is my strength. Divine revelation reveals messages, has the power to destroy. So, when I just got with that is if there's been some hidden element, if there's been hidden messages, if there's been people sliding into DMs, and there's something about this being exposed, causing a disruption in a relationship, do be aware that this may be coming in. And it's one of those situations where it's like, it's for your own good. It might not feel good. It might not feel good to have this come out in the open. And this could be, you know, this could be communication you've been having. You know, you've been moving like this and you thought you got away with it, but having it come to the surface could be, you know, quite something to contend with. I think it could jeopardize a connection that you are hoping to preserve, or at one point was your 10 of Cups. On the other hand, this could be you discovering that somebody that you've been invested in emotionally, that you had a relationship with, has been, you know, talking to somebody behind your back, right? But there's something that's being exposed here, and it brings an opportunity for self-reflection, a need to do things differently, a need to make different choices, a need to communicate, a need to be honest. Top of the deck energy, we have Eight of Cups, Vapor. Guide of the waters can make storms and rough seas, causes men to die in 3 days of putrid wounds. Again, this is like there's a need really to look at the wounding inside. What is causing this pattern to repeat over and over and over again? Repeatedly creating the same kind of scenario. It is so important to address this, to bring attention to it. I feel like there's a lot of you who are dealing with somebody where one or both of you could really benefit from getting some kind of support in this situation, whether that's getting counseling, um, having some kind of mediation, some kind of healthy communication facilitated in some cases for those that are working through addiction, like actually going out, getting some support, maybe going to rehab, or at the very least going to some kind of like support groups or getting some kind of counseling. This is front and center. It looks like there's a lot of support though around turning this around if responsibility is taken. And it does look like there's going to be illumination. So maybe for a time this behavior has been hidden, it's gone by concealed. But I think that something is coming to light. And I don't think it's just coming to light for the person who's been getting away from it, keeping it below the radar. I also think something's coming to light for the other party involved and what kind of choices they need to make in this situation. How the deck energy. We have Knight of Swords. Okay, so this will come in swiftly with the Knight of Swords, and it's going to create a very like swift form of action and decision in this matter. This is Horus, and it says destroys and burns all enemies when requested, speaks of the creation of the world, tells of the past and future. I think, there's potential for this situation to become combustible when things come out in the open. I think you might want to get revenge, or somebody might want to get revenge on you, pick what side you're on. Somebody is going to feel very activated by this. And so there's definitely a need to, I would say, take preemptive measures. If there's something you need to come up and out with, it's better for you to come forward with it than to have it exposed. That's never a good look, and it's not exactly the best for creating situations where healing can be possible. We do see a lot of supportive energy on your side, though. We have the Seven of Pentacles here with Nemamia, and this says discernment, general prosperity, the deliverance of prisoners. So I see you doing what needs to be done to follow the path of growth. And you're going to call out what needs to be called out, even if it's calling yourself out. And you're going to do the work. And this is going to get corrected. You're going to have the discernment required to make this decision. And I believe with that Knight of Swords energy coming up, it's probably an air sign energy that's going to be making some kind of swift discernment that has a real powerful effect on this situation. Because Knight of Swords, when it comes through very decisively with intention, and the action is swift. Okay. But there is this, preserving of prosperity and growth in this situation, which is a good thing. And there's this deliverance from feeling trapped, feeling stuck. And I think stuck from keeping something inside and unspoken for too long. There's something freeing, it's really true. The truth sets you free. Okay. So if there's something that you've been holding inside, that you've been afraid to communicate. And if you feel like you've been dealing with somebody who isn't sharing everything with you, and you want to know where they're at, maybe create a space where it's safe for them to come forward and you two can have a conversation. But it does look like there's a lot of opportunity for healing in this situation. There's a lot of support. And so I really encourage you to move forward with that, because anytime we have an opportunity to set ourselves free and to come to a place of deep authenticity and healing, that's worth the gamble. It's worth the risk to be vulnerable, and you'll never, never regret it. All right. I wish you luck and love and blessings as you move through this cycle. And I know you have everything it takes to meet this challenge and rise above it.